So here we are at the at our final part. So I'm just going to take these coupling rods off again. Just easy to paint the wheels. I'm not going to use an airbrush on the bottom. It's just I get a bit more control and won't get any overspray on the wheels or the pickups. So I'm just using a brush for this part here. So take the coupling rods off again, and we're just going to use a mix of, so this is some browns and a black. So this is mahogany, which is a Vallejo Air. So use this straight with the brush and no mixing. And then we can just mix and match as much as we need, really. We'll give this a little try and we'll see how it comes out. So I'm not going to go too heavy with the paint. Obviously it starts to run and getting all the bearings and everything if we do that. So just trying to be careful, stand away from any surfaces that it may sort of clog up or bond together. So not too much on the wheels, otherwise it will go through and we'll get a sort of clogging at the back and it will cause issues. Just clean up as I go. We'll give this a thorough clean at the end. I'll put it on the rolling road and we'll give it a proper clean, just to make sure we've got everything off. I want to make sure that where the screws go that hold the rods on, just want to keep that clear, because again that's going to get too much paint and powders on there. That's going to sort of inhibit any running that we've got from this particular motor. So just be careful. And we're using a mix, like I say, of blacks and browns to simulate grease and grime from over the years. It's going to be pretty mucky down there, if we see from the original reference picture. So this video, we just really, it's the final touches, all the little bits and pieces and the final jobs we need to do for this particular Class 08. Been a bit of a journey, really. So it's been fun doing this. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Probably what we're going to do next week is do a compilation, put all the 7 parts together in a single episode. So if you want to sit in front of YouTube for a couple of hours and have a snooze and leave this running, that'll be great. It all helps. Just want to thank everybody again who's watched every episode and has commented. It's all appreciated, it's all taken on board, and yeah, there's some more videos that are coming very soon. Now we've got this one out of the way, there's a few more next week got in mind, and hopefully there's something for everybody. Again, if there's something you want to see in particular that you'd like me to have a go at, can't guarantee that I will be able to do it or be able to do it well, but if I can, I'm quite happy to give it a go. So we're using some powders on this just to add a bit of texture and sort of depth, and this is just my old standards, which is Humbrol Dark Earth, which is a general weathering powder, and one of the Vallejo pigments, which is the sort of the brighter rust, burnt sienna. I get confused whether it's burnt sienna or umber, but it's the lighter of the two. It's the more orange anyway. I'm not going again too heavy. Don't want to create any areas at the top where it will foul the mechanism. Just trying to add a little bit of texture, a bit more age to the wheels. Those weights in particular, the sort of counterbalances, the counterweights, they will generally be quite rusty. They're a big old chunk of steel, those. So we'll give them a little bit of extra rust. And we'll do the same to the other side, of course. and don't forget to clean those wheels up afterwards. Now the rods on this were originally silver when it comes, you know, in the originally from Hornby. Someone's painted them in red. I was thinking about cleaning them off and doing it properly, a bit of primer and so on, but I'm not going to bother. I'm just going straight over with yellow. We'll give it a couple of passes in the end, but it doesn't really matter. Most of the red is going to disappear. If you look on the original image, it's difficult to see what colour it was anyway. You have to really look closely to see that it was yellow, because there's so much grease and grime that you can't tell what colour it was. So I just want a hint of yellow, and then we're going to use the same weathering powders while it's still tacky, and we'll just sort of touch that on in a random sort of way. Again, the same colours, the same rust, and the same weathering powder. And that disguises most of the colour, but you can see just around where the bolts are going to go, or the screws on this, that you know, it was yellow, and there's going to be little hints of yellow showing through. So it's just kind of just what we're after, to be honest. Okay, so you would have noticed, and a couple of people commented that the buffers were missing. Indeed, there was only two when I got this one. One was broken, so I've drilled that out and made space for the new buffers. These buffers are from Pt7. If you've never used them before, it's got something for everybody. I'll put the link in the description if I remember. If I don't, just remind me. But Pt7 is on eBay, and he's got a website, so lots of everything for everybody. And these buffers, they're a couple of quid for these four. So I'm just going to paint them in this sort of stainless steel silvery colour, and just to make it easier to handle, I've stuck them double-sided tape to this piece of card. It's just easier with lots of little things to do that. So we're just going to paint the back. We don't want the front painted. That's going to get a different treatment. I'm not taking a tremendous amount of care. Could obviously airbrush these if I chose to, but this is a Vallejo air, so it's quite thin, and it's got good coverage, and it finishes quite smoothly, so that's fine. And while that's drying, we'll do the glazing. Now I've done a video on this recently, so I'm not going to show the whole bit. But if you look in the playlist, you'll find glazing of another 08. Which is done just a few weeks back. So I'm just going to show bits and pieces. These are the rear windows, and we just need to cut these out, and they pop in place there. So they're holding in place quite well, and then we're going to glue them in. And there's the side windows. You can see I've just done two of those just to show. And this is again a Humbrol liquid poly cement, so a plastic cement, and you can just touch it in, and like we do, you know, when we do our oil washes, capillary action, we'll just take the glue, and it doesn't affect the plastic, which is great. So I've tested that before. So we need to fit our buffers. Now they're dry, and I've decided to super glue them in. They're quite a good fit, but I just want to super glue them in just for a bit of extra safety, really. And I'm using tweezers. Don't normally use tweezers, to be honest, but just to make it a little bit easier for you to see. Otherwise you end up getting my fist and fingers in the way. But they just slip into place. Maybe give them a little extra push right at the end, just to make sure they're completely home and completely fitted. And then again, just to make these sort of match the rest of the model, I'm going to give them a coat of that's mahogany in there, but you know, any colour will do. Really just using it as a medium for the powders in this particular case. So we're going to, while it's still wet, we're just going to apply some powder again. We're using the same rust colour and the same weathering powder, just a mix of the both, front and the back. and because it's still wet, it will hold the powder in place. We don't need to then add any more lacquers to the top. So there's the back that's done. Now for the windows, this one's out of focus, I do apologise. We've just covered this in, again, with a brushed on Vallejo, I think it's called Dirt, which is fine. And then we're just going to rub a patch in the middle, rather than having the wiper arcs that we've done on others. We're just going to rub a little patch, just so it looks like it's a bit grimy. So final assembly pretty much. I need to fit these coupling rods back. You would have kept these screws in a safe place, obviously, and make sure they go back in the same order. Don't forget the middle one on this particular loco is different to the rest. It's deeper because it needs to go through 2 layers of this coupling rod. On lots of 08s it's a single bar, so all the screws will be the same primarily. But just take care on this one, it isn't. The middle one is bigger, or it's got a deeper, I know it's got a name, but I can't think. The part in the middle, the part above the thread, between the thread and the head, is double the size because it needs to go through 2 layers of that rod. So nip them up just nice and tightly, otherwise they will unscrew as your loco starts going around the track. And the worst thing is to lose one of these screws. They're a nightmare to try and find these if they fly off. So that's it, that's both sides. Now this, again, this 08 didn't have any couplings, so that the tension locks, so we've just replaced those, donated them from another model which we don't need them on. Actually, another 08 is having chain couplings, so we've used those instead, which made it easier for me to find. The only thing is they are bright black, so we need to do something about that. So again, still got the mahogany paint in the on the palette, so we'll just give that a quick colour in, and then we'll get the powders back. They're still there, ready to go. It's in there to hand. We might as well just use what we've already got. It's just really take that black newness away from the tension locks. They I mean, they're big and obvious to start with anyway, but let's try and disguise them just a little bit, just to make them a little less obvious, if that's possible. And that's him pretty much done. It's been quite an epic, this one, but yeah, I think it's worth it. I'm glad I did this. Not sure if I'm ever going to sell this one. Not sure if anyone's going to buy it. But yeah, great fun. I've had a couple of inquiries for other people to make similar things. I look forward to doing them soon and sharing them with you. So today's Friday. Enjoy your weekend. See you soon.